Hi, Room 5. So this week we are working on a social studies unit, and social studies is sort of kind of just about learning about who you are in the world and the pieces of the world that go together to make it work. And we're starting with a unit called Me on the Map. So I already read this to you in another video, and we talked about drawing a map of your room as the first step, because that's where your space is. But then as the world gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you have a lot of different spaces that you belong to. So if you printed out the Me on the Map packet, it was in Google Classroom. If you don't have a printer or you couldn't print it out, no big deal. You can do this on a piece of paper or you can just watch. But this is actually the first page of it, and it looks like this in the packet. And I actually don't even have an extra packet for myself at home, so I'm using our chart paper, and this is what we would have done in the classroom. And so we're going to fill this in today, and then we're going to talk about sort of the first page in this, which is about our address. So the first sentence says, I live in the city of, and we all live in the city of Concord in order to go to Highlands Elementary School. I actually don't. I actually live in the city of Clayton, which is right next door, but I'm going to write Concord on this poster. Now, all of the names that we're writing today are actually names, which means they have to start with an uppercase letter. So when I go to write Concord, I'm going to start it with an uppercase C. Concord. It has that or sound in it. And I need to actually put a period because there's no periods on this paper. Okay, so you would write Concord as well. And then of course you want to make sure that you remember that uppercase C. The next one, now of course anytime you can pause this until you're ready to move on. I live in the city of Concord. Oh, I'm actually sorry. It's supposed to be a comma because our sentence isn't over yet. Make that a little comma like that. In the state of, we live in the state of California. So if we were to look on this picture of the United States, our state, out of all these colored states, is this pink one over here, California. Here's another map. This is the one that you guys would take out to recess. On this map, California is green, right? And there's 50 states, 50, but we live in the state of California. So California is spelled like this, uppercase C, of course, because it's a name, Cal, if, or, it's got the or sound also in it, Nia, California, comma again. And again, you've got to pay attention to that uppercase C. That's hard to see. Sorry. Okay. So again, of course, if you need to pause it and write California, I'm actually going to try to scoot this a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. So now it says, I live in the city of Concord, in the state of California, in the country of, and this is our country, the United States of America. This whole thing is our country. If we look on this, the colored part is our country. You'll see that Canada is up on top and Mexico is down on the bottom. Those are not our countries. Our country is the United States of America. So this is pretty long. Let's see, I want blue. In the country of the United States America. And that's a really long one. Sometimes you'll hear people call it the USA, and that's because that's what it stands for. But anytime we're writing a report or we're working on learning information, we don't want to shortcut and say the USA. We want to really make sure that we're writing it all out. It's also a little bit more respectful to our country because this is its full name. And you'll notice I didn't put an uppercase on of. That's because of is a tiny word. And a lot of times on words that are just 2 letters or 1 letter, you don't have to. It's kind of a secret rule. Okay, so let's read it again from the beginning. I live in the city of Concord, in the state of California, in the country of the United States of America, on the continent of. What on earth is a continent? Well, if I showed you this picture of our world, you'll notice that there are 7 different pieces of land that are in different colors. So if you look really closely, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, their names are North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. So every place in our world belongs to a continent, and there are 7 of them. We belong to North America. We're right here in the middle of North America. And on top of us is Canada, and below us is Mexico. And we share North America with those countries. So on the continent of, we need to write North America. And it's a name. So uppercase N to start north. And then America. And I will, of course, box our uppercase letters. And so now it says, I live in the city of Concord, in the state of California, in the country of the United States of America, on the continent of North America, on the planet. And this you already know because we already studied our planets this year. But I'll show you again the picture from the story, the planet Earth. And you all know that. So let's see, we're going to do Earth in purple. And now actually we can finally put a period at the end. That is one long sentence. Holy moly. Can you guys see that? Oh, you can. Perfect. Okay. So if you have this page, you can take some time to fill it out. If you don't have this page, you can just do it on a piece of paper like I did. Or now what we're going to start doing over the next few days is we're going to make posters for each one of these things. Not humongous posters to hang in our room, but regular size posters like on a piece of paper. Okay, so this is the first page. Now I'm going to take this down. And, sorry, the next page in your book, again, if you printed it out, is your street. So we know that your space in this world starts in your room. And you might even share a room, but that's still your place. Now the next, as we move out from your room, it goes to our street, our house, and it's our address. So I'm not going to draw a picture of my house today because that would take us too long on this video. But that's what I would like you to do if you have a piece of paper with you. And the thing that we really want to focus on is writing our address. So I'm going to write my address today so that you can see what it looks like. You're going to have to ask a grown-up for your address. It's very important now that you're in first grade, almost in second grade, that you learn what your address is. because nobody else except for your family has your address. So we're going to talk about some of the different things on your address. First of all, I live on Raven Way, okay? So Raven Way is a name. It's the name of my street. So when I order a book from Amazon and the Amazon person has to find my house, they're going to find Raven Way. But Raven Way is really long and has a bunch of different houses on it. So that's why we have to have a number in front of Raven Way to tell the mailman or the Amazon delivery person or whoever's coming to our house, our friends, exactly which house it is. So my house number is 5017. My house number happens to be 4 digits long. Your house number might not. It could be 1 digit, it could be 2 digits, it could be 3 digits, it might even be longer than this. So this is just my street, and that's great. But my sister, she lives in Utah. So she lives in this state right here. Well, if she was going to mail me a letter and put it in her mailbox and she says, send this to my sister on Raven Way, her mail person is going to think that this must be in Utah because my sister lives in Utah. So the mail person would get this envelope and think, I'm supposed to deliver this envelope to Raven Way. I should go find Raven Way in Utah. Well, guess what? I don't live on Raven Way in Utah. So the next part of our address comes on another line, and all addresses are written this way. So this is on the first line, and on the second line, we have to tell the mail person where on earth we live. So first I need to say the town I live in. So the town that I live in, and this is a little bit different from yours, is Clayton. Okay, but now I also need to put the state. I need to put the city and the state. And to separate the city and the state, we always use a comma like this. Okay, and then, oh my goodness, I have to write California again. California is such a long word. That'll take forever. No, you get to use an abbreviation. An abbreviation means all the states have secret codes. And the secret codes are 2 letters which sort of shorten their name so that the mail people can read them easier and we can write them easier. And so when we're writing a letter, California looks like this. C-A. Okay, so now this has so much information on it. It has my street and the number of my street. So I would read it 5017 Raven Way, Clayton, California. Now there's one more thing that we have to add, and it's called a zip code. And this is really tricky, and this is where you're going to need a grown-up again to help you with it. My zip code, it's another number, is 94517. Okay, so this is Mrs. McGee's address. Now, what I would like you to do today on a piece of paper is I would like you to write your address as fancy and as nice as you can, paying close attention to those uppercase letters on all the names that you write of all those places. And yours is going to be a little bit different. Your first line is going to have your number and your street. And then your second line is going to look a little bit different. Most of you are going to have Concord instead of Clayton because you live in Concord. But then guess what? You still live in California. So you'll still have CA. And then since you live in Concord, your number is going to be different. Your zip code's going to be different. So mine matches Clayton. We need yours to match Concord. Most of yours is going to be 945 2, 1. Okay. So that's what I would like you to work on today. And then maybe, since it's such a nice day today, or it's turning into a nice day at least, you can take your piece of paper outside and you can sit in front of your house and you can work on drawing it the best that you can. Okay? Because this is all going to go into our book so that we can make our own Me on the Map book by the end. All right? So I love you. I miss you very much. And there's no place like home. Oh, and now you have my address. You can write me a letter. Miss you.